Hi, and welcome to this episode of Financial Planning Innovation. It's my pleasure to have on the line Ryan Metzler. Ryan and I met actually on LinkedIn, and he is running a marketing technology company which he co-founded called Finlocity. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, great to be here, Mark. Thanks for having me.
So, tell me a little bit about your background and what kind of caused you to want to start this company, Finlocity.
Sure. So I started out in the events space, hosting B2B meetings for C-level executives. We were producing events for healthcare, technology, mining, energy, and with the collaboration and the meeting quality and the success that we were having, not only for us but also our clients, I decided to spin off on that and do events for financial services. I realized there really wasn't a business for that, or there really wasn't a business there for it. So I opened it up, and with lots of success there, we realized, we could do this on a bigger scale. Let's go online with it. And we started Finlocity.
Very cool. And what does Finlocity look like today? What are the types of events that you host?
Yep. So in 2018, we founded Finlocity. We have over 5,000 members. They're all financial intermediaries. So we have bank trust officers, RAAs, family offices, registered reps, insurance brokerage. Basically, it's a place where we hold weekly webcasts, and then we also host online summits based on different things that are going on in the market. So we have an alternative investing summit that's going to be coming up shortly, and we have a RAA operations and BD operations. So anything that really deals with your business as a financial professional.
Cool. And, I've been in the insurance world for probably 15 years. And I would say that every spring and every fall, there's always these hosts of conferences. And it's almost like you guys are taking that conference environment online, which is especially critical right now with the coronavirus and everyone having to cancel these events. So what are you seeing in terms of, people being able to shift from almost that seminar or conference environment over to a web-based or webinar type of environment?
Yeah, so it's an unfortunate time. I mean, a lot of companies I've seen had to shut down their events. We have seen an emergence of companies flipping their existing event into an online sort of engagement where they're inviting attendees as attendees, and they're including panelists and speakers on the webcast, but using an event sort of format. So not really just kind of taking their mind off the fact that it's in a hotel and just putting themselves in front of a camera instead to deliver the message. So a change. It's a bit of a uncomfort for a lot of people, but it's very, very effective.
Right. And I would say they're the same, right? The education, the messages you're delivering are the same, but it is that kind of that transition to something that's a little less comfortable. Looking into a camera lens is a bit different than looking, at your participants in a big seminar room. What would you say is kind of the biggest hurdle to help somebody, change from that environment? Let's say they were hosting a seminar that got canceled because of coronavirus. What's the one thing that you would give them a tip on to do to transition that event into a web-based event?
Definitely. I think the first thing, what it boils down to, is the way that you perform, I guess. So just getting getting comfortable in front of the camera. I think that was the biggest challenge for me to kind of move over. It's something I deal with day to day, but
Yeah.
But if you're a public speaker, it's no big change. Just getting used to using the tools, the technology tools, because when you're hosting a webcast, a lot of times you're doing the controls yourself, and so knowing those buttons and kind of figuring out where everything is, knowing the lay of the land is really important before you go live. But in terms of the event format, you don't really need to change a whole lot. I mean, the only thing that really you don't get the same quality is obviously one-on-one interaction. But if you think about an event from a product standpoint, all you're really trying to do is just get your message out and develop the first steps of that sort of relationship. So.
Right. And I concur with that. At Buddy INS, as you know, we do a lot of webinars. Last week, I had an advisor come to me and say, can you take my seminar and turn it into a webinar? And we were able to do that. But there's a lot of components to it that you have to think about. The marketing aspect of it, right? The production of it has to be entertaining. You have to practice it, like you said, so you get used to that software. And then following up, with people after the event. Can you give us an idea? I don't know if you have like an example of some advisors you've worked with, and just to give them an idea of the experience and what it feels like to try to transfer from a live event to a web-based event.
Well, I mean, the best experience, just because it's the closest to me, is my dad. He used to go to a lot of my events, and just to, think of the logistics of booking his flight and getting his room set up and making sure he has the right kind of food. I mean, there's no comparison to dad just click the button and hit the web link, and then you're live and you're right there in it. And I mean, he loves that ability for him to not have that disruption in his life where he's a producer. He's always out meeting his clients. That's where he makes his money. And so the more time that he's out in the field, the more successful he is. So by just allowing him more, easier deployment, of an event, it's just like, it's a no-brainer for him. So he actually goes online, he gets CE credits, and it's real effective for him. So just time alone. That's one big thing. And then another thing that's really helped him out. Normally he would go to events for solutions. What's nice about Finlocity, he's able to go onto our solutions hub and check out solutions, and then go into the video vault and listen to people, what they had to say about those solutions. So kind of gets it all without having to meet anybody.
Yeah, and you bring up another good point, which is an advantage to some of the web-based events, is that you can record them. In some cases, it just automatically starts the recording for you. So people that miss your event, or it's a conflict, time-wise, you can reach out to them and send them a copy of that event. And I know you guys host a lot of those events on Finlocity and have that library that they can kind of look at anytime on demand, right?
Yep, absolutely. It's a video vault, and it works really well. We get a lot of people that go on there and view those videos, and it's great because you can edit them and put them up. So
yeah, it sounds simple, but the software does make it so much easier these days to do all of these things.
Absolutely, much easier than what it was even 2 years ago. So,
well,
perfect timing.
Yeah, it's perfect timing, and we built our business around this because it made sense from a productivity perspective. We could reach more people around the country. Now it's an imperative to have this ability to do it. Everyone's kind of scrambling to learn how to do it. But yeah, if you do need any assistance with it, let me know. Let Ryan know. And I really appreciate you being on the show today and sharing with us Finlocity.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, Mark.